Hello and welcome to Community Notes with Topham. I am your host Topham. This week my guest is Ailsa, one quarter of the Eargasm podcast, co-founder and organiser of RVB Scotland, fashionista extraordinaire, group mod of RT Radio, the Safe Room founder and group mod on Community Comics. Hey Ailsa, how's it going?
Hi, I'm not too bad, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show, by the way.
Absolutely no problem. So, we are here to talk about music, and I've asked you to choose 5 tracks that have come from your past, essentially, that have helped shape you and really influence you in any way possible. So, let's start with the first track you've chosen. What is it, and how has it affected you?
Okay, so my first track is it used to be called Comanche, but they changed the name of it to The Big Gun Down by The Prodigy, which is a totally obvious one for me. Anyone who kind of knows me at all knows that The Prodigy is my favorite band, so I had to have them in there first. And I chose that one in particular because one of the gigs that I saw them, it was the first time they had ever played it, and they were like testing the waters on it somewhat. And they're like, okay, so we've just written this song. It's called Comanche. Tell us what you think. And everybody just went wild, and it was probably one of my top moments. Them being my favorite band, it was just like super emotional. And then every time I saw them after that, like nobody else knew what the song was because it was brand new. So they would be like, this is Comanche. And I remember I was at a music festival and I screamed because I knew that the song was going to be awesome and nobody else did. And about 50 people all turned around and looked at me like, what the fuck is she saying? And I was like, no, it's good, honest, listen. And then like at the end of the song when they finished playing it, I was like, see, I told you so.
Awesome. So, when was the first time you saw The Prodigy?
2008, I think, at Tea in the Park was the first time I saw them. And I think I've seen them 5 times after that.
Awesome. They're a great live band.
Yeah,
Just
it's the
so
only
damn
band
good.
that I'm quite happy to get the shit kicked into me just because I'm like in the crowd because people are just like the fans are like so expressive and they just dance crazy. So I always end up covered in bruises, but it's just like it's amazing. So
Ah,
good.
cool. So, was that the first time you'd been to a festival that you saw them, or had you been
No,
to
no, no.
festivals before?
I've been going to festivals since I was like yay high. My family's pretty musical, so yeah, that was yeah, I've been going for a while. I think it was my second tea in the park.
Cool. So, you say your family's pretty musical. Are you musical yourself?
I am musical actually. People don't really know this about me because I've kind of kept it quiet. But I actually played piano for 9 years. I stopped playing just before I went to uni, so when I was 18. But 9 years before that, I played piano and I won a lot of trophies and stuff. I was pretty good. But yeah, I play every now and again, but I don't really have as much time as I used to when I was growing up.
Cool. Did you like learn pieces and play things like that, or did you improvise much?
Well, I just got lessons really. I was just kind of she kind of had a set sort of schedule for me and we started like I didn't really like doing the exams, you've got like your grades for music.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah. I haven't done a single guitar like grade exam
I
just
did
because
I
that's not me.
yeah, I did grade 1, 2, 3 and I hated them. I got so nervous and I got asked if I wanted to do my grade 5 and I was just like, do you know what? I know it's something I could possibly like put on my CV. I don't even know if you can put those on your CV, but I was just like, it's just not really why I'm playing. Um, so then I did a lot of the competitions, which was mainly Scottish, either traditional or folk music, which is also okay, but mainly I liked weirdly because jazz isn't a form of music that I particularly like, but I loved playing jazz piano music. I absolutely loved it. Like when you're like in this like moonlit bar and you've got the pianist in the background. I love playing that kind of stuff. So that was more in my sort of later years what I played and I loved it.
Cool. Let's move on to the next track you've
Yeah.
chosen. What is it? And yeah, let's tell us something about it.
My next track completely opposite direction is it's actually from the movie Gladiator. I think it's maybe the theme from that. It's called Now We Are Free, written by Hans Zimmer and sung by Lisa Gerrard. Um, and I put this one in because it's the only song that can like make me smile and cry in the same song. And every time I listen to it, I always get that mix of emotion of like happy and sad in the same song. And if I ever get married, I want it played at my wedding because it's just one of the most incredible songs that I've ever heard, and it's so well written. And like the words are complete gibberish. Like it's not English, it's not any written language. The woman just makes it up as she goes along. And I don't know, I think that makes it mean something to sort of individuals. I don't know. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a favorite for me. And I always belt it out in the shower because there's because there's no like words. I just you can just make them up. So yeah, it's a favorite for me belting it out in the shower.
Ah, cool. Gladiator, one of your favourite films?
No, I'm not a big fan of what's the main guy called again?
Russell Crowe?
Yeah, him. I don't really like him that much. And the movies, it's okay. I don't know. I'm not really into that kind of movies. It's all right. It's not one of my favorites though. But yeah, the song. I know what the song means to the movie. It's kind of like him losing his family and stuff. But to me, it means something completely different. To me, it's quite a happy song, sort of. I don't know. I just have a completely different interpretation to it that the movie does.
Ah, cool. So, um, working on that, do you listen to music more for lyrical content or for the music itself? If that makes sense.
Um, kind of a bit of both. It's probably mostly just how the music makes me feel. Um, because it's usually it'll usually just be a combination, but that one's a really good example in which it doesn't really matter what it says. It can invoke an emotion in you. It doesn't. It just seems to be the music speaks to you kind of thing.
Ah, cool. Let's move on to the next track you've chosen. What is it, and why do you love it?
People are gonna punch me for this, but it's "Odds Are" by the Bare Naked Ladies.
I like it.
It's really good, and you've probably had. I'm not surprised you've had somebody else that said it, but because it's two reasons. Because the community, the Rooster Teeth community, is such a huge part of my life. Um, that song has just sort of become an anthem of the community. I know that Bare Naked Ladies have got another one out now with like joined with the Rooster Teeth people. But this one it sort of speaks because it's like even if you're having like the worst day ever, it's not that bad. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna get through it, even though you're having a shit time. And I find it a really good song to listen to if I'm having a really crappy day. I'm just like, yeah, I'm having a shit day, but it'll get better. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I really, really like the song and the video for it because the video is just everything going wrong, but
Yeah,
them still having a cheery attitude about everything, and it really
exactly.
just exemplifies what their music is about specifically, but also that generically things are gonna be all right.
Yeah, I find it a song that's a really good pick me up, and it also reminds me of the community, and yeah, they mean a lot to me.
Yeah, certainly. Um, so speaking of the community,
Mhm.
you run the RVB Scotland group events alongside Aiden. How did that all come about? Were you like, I want to start doing something in the local area? I say local area. I mean,
Yeah.
Scotland's a big place, but yeah, let's leave it at that. But yeah, how did that all come about?
um, it's a while ago now, but yeah, I was sort of aware of the fact that I was aware of the existence of RVB UK, and I really wanted to. I was really interested in that, but then saw how far away it was, and I was like, that's kind of a trek for someone who lives in the Highlands like me, with not great transport links. And I actually went to university to do events management, so I thought maybe I could do something. But I never really acted on it because I sort of pushed the fashion side to start with. And then Aiden came to me and said, "Well, you're kind of well known in the community. I've been talking with a couple of people about doing a Scottish makeup, and it would be really cool if you could help." And I was like, "Whoa, that's a coincidence. I've actually been thinking about doing that." So we just kind of he's very good because we work very well together. He's very quiet, but he'll just listen to I'll have the most insane ideas for events. My brain is constantly organizing and thinking up new things, and I'll just like at 2 in the morning I will just go to him on Skype and I'll be like, "Oh my god, I just thought of the greatest thing. We're gonna do this and it's gonna be insane and we'll do this and we'll do this," and he'll just be like, "Okay," and he'll just like uncrazy my ideas and just be like, "Okay, we can do this and we'll do this and it'll be great," and it's like somebody can like I can bounce off of that can really sort of refine my ideas and sort of go with it rather than just being like, "Who is this crazy bitch?"
Cool. It's always nice to have someone to bounce ideas off of,
Absolutely.
and I just
He's
love.
very good in that way.
Yeah, I just love having someone to be like, "Oh, this is all an idea." Everything just like spews out of my brain, and it's just like
Yeah.
someone's like, "Yes, that right there is a good point. We will take that and develop that a little bit more." But yeah, sometimes you've got to do it on your own as well, which becomes a little bit more difficult. Anyway, let's carry on. What is the next track that you've chosen?
The next track I've chosen, again going a completely different direction, is "The Fisherman's Blues" by the Waterboys. Um, this is because um, folk music is a huge part of my life, like huge part. My dad is in a Scottish Ceilidh band. He has been as long as I can remember. Um, my mum used to play folk guitar. My brother plays the violin, but Scottish folk music. I went to Scottish folk music school every year for 9 years. So yeah, Scottish folk music has had a huge impact on my life, and I know Water Boys aren't Scottish, but they're very big in Scotland. Um, and that song in particular, it reminds me of there was a music festival that me and my dad put on in a tiny wee town called Fort Augustus in Scotland, and we had this tiny pub, like no bigger than the size of maybe an average size living room, packed to the nines full of people, and I mean packed, and everybody was pissed off their self, and yeah, everybody was singing this song together, and it is a memory that will like stick with me forever, and it just reminds me of um this, I don't know, Scottish people just seem to have this atmosphere, and yeah, I just, especially when we all just get together and play folk music together, it just is something really special that I've never experienced in any other sort of setting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds like it's a decent community, and
It
you
is.
certainly seem to be someone that is all about a community. So it
Yeah.
makes complete sense as to why you'd love that
And
as an
yeah,
experience.
another reason why I love it is because I saw them live a tiny little festival called Belladrum Tartan Heart Festival. Um it was a really magical moment. I remember I was I was drinking whiskey mixed with ice cream because I'd been told at a whiskey tasting that this particular whiskey tasted really good with milk, which sounds disgusting, which we couldn't get our hands on at the time. So we're like, what is the closest thing to milk that we can get at a music festival? So we just dunked some ice cream in it, and yeah, that's all I could. When that song comes on, a sort of lots of different memories come to mind. There's like the pub in Fort Augustus, and then there's whiskey ice cream, and it's just like
Was it good?
it was probably really terrible, but I was that past it that I didn't really care. But I yeah, I think it sounds pretty disgusting, so I can imagine it was pretty bad.
I don't know. I like ice cream in my drinks. Then again, I don't drink alcoholic drinks, so it's kind of up in the air as to whether
Yeah,
ice cream
alcohol
goes
is
with every drink.
yeah, alcohol is pretty minging, so it would even make ice cream taste a bit gross.
Fair enough. Right, let's move on to the last song that you have chosen. What is it, and why is it awesome?
My last song, it was really difficult to pick one song from this artist, but and again, it could be a controversial one. It is Michael Jackson, "Love Never Felt So Good." I picked that one because it's the latest one that has been released from him, and I picked this one because of my brother. It's because like yeah, my me and my brother are probably we're really really close, and he's like my best friend in the whole world, and um he's always been a huge Michael Jackson fan, and I associate with Michael Jackson with him being happy because it always we would always like sing and jump around, and if it ever came on in a shop we would just dance really stupid. And he was I remember the day that he Michael Jackson died. I just uh, it was really tough because like I was really gutted that he died, but I was more gutted because I knew how much it had really crushed my brother. um because that was like his idol. He has a tattoo of him and everything. And we had tickets to the This Is It tour too. So
Sad times.
it was really sad, but this song in particular I really like because it's like he's gone, and he's been gone for a while now. I just didn't realize how long it's been. It doesn't seem like that long. But it's so good that despite this tragedy happening, he's still releasing music, and it still sounds so good. And I think it's was it Timbaland that did the sort of producing on it. He's done a really good job, and it's really cool to see my brother excited again about music, because he was just like he was properly crushed about it. And like I really care about my brother. And yeah, I sound really sappy, but family, yay.
Ah, cool. Let's take a step away from that and head towards me asking you a question about festivals. Do you go to Tea in the Park regularly? When it's on, annually, should I say?
I've been 3 times.
Okay.
2006, 2008, and 2000 was either 9 or 10. I can't remember. I don't go regularly because I'm more about the little festivals, the like
Okay.
the ones that aren't really heard of. I found Tea in the Park to be very intimidating. It was
Yeah,
just
like big festivals can just be really overwhelming
yeah. I
if
mean,
you're not prepared
I got
enough.
really badly injured at Tea in the Park. It was at Rage Against the Machine, and I was right at the rails, and I had 40,000 people pushing me into the rails, and my brother was there with me, and he was trying to push people back, but obviously you can't push 40,000 people back. So I was basically being suffocated against this rail, and I couldn't move, and there was nothing I could do, and I was shouting for help, but because it was so loud, nobody could hear me. And the woman next to me was like, "Oh my god, this girl's dying. Somebody has to do something." So she was like waving her arm to
The stewards.
the
Yeah.
stewards, and one of them came up and saw, and he was like, "Are you okay? You're blue." And I was like, "Please help me." So he lifted me out, and like he had me like over his shoulder, and I was like, "Get my brother, get my brother." So he like grabbed him and pulled him through as well. But then the greatest thing was is he left us there, so we were like right at the stage part, and he would like he didn't tell us to piss off, so we were just like dancing away right at the side right next to them. So you know, dying bad, right next to the stage good.
Ah, cool. Do you get a chance to see much live music now?
um, Not so much, and that kind of bothers me. The last time I went to a festival was 2 years ago. Um, and I really miss it because it's it's the reason why I went to do events management at uni, and it I don't know. It's some sort. I guess it's escapism, but it feels like you're kind of completely relaxed and just free. I guess that is the escapism, really, the definition. But I just felt like I could leave my worldly problems at home, and while I was there, everything was just awesome.
Cool. Right, let's move on to the final questions that I have.
Okay.
The first one is, if you could have any superpower, which one would it be, and which of your songs would be your theme song?
Ooh. Okay. Um. Well, obviously, the Big Gun Down would be my theme song because that's the only kind of super duper upbeat one,
Mm-hmm.
and it is banging. I'd recommend everybody to listen to it. And my superpower, luckily I've had this question in a podcast episode. It would be shapeshifting. Which apparently all girls say according to the guys. I was just like, what? No. Um, but yeah, I feel like shapeshifting would be a really useful one. Probably not for like fighting crime or anything, but just in like everyday life, I feel like it could be useful.
Yeah, I mean, to fight crime, you'd need to have it, like, coupled with something else.
Well, unless if I could like be like that Terminator woman where you can like turn your arms into like weapons or something.
I suppose that could be very, very useful.
I guess. Like,
Hmm.
yeah. I just imagine that female Terminator that she could like make her arms into well, she made them into like blades and stuff, but like guns would be useful, I suppose. I don't know.
Fair enough. Okay, so you can only listen to one of these songs for the rest of time. Which one would it be?
That's tough.
Yep.
Again, I think it would have to be the Prodigy just because of how much they mean to me, but it would be really tough. Really, really tough. Because I do get sick of songs if I listen to them over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's the way I designed this question.
I see.
So it has to be one song for the rest of time, and you have to enjoy it.
You will sit there, you will listen, and you will like it.
It will be the only thing you ever hear. No, I mean, you can still talk to people, that's permissible, I suppose.
Yeah, I think I'd be okay with listening to the Prodigy every day for the rest of my life or whatever. But yeah, I think it might grind on me eventually. I might want to listen to something like Chill Out, and I'll be like, oh, god damn it.
Fair enough. And the last question, what is your favourite album of the moment?
My favorite album of the moment. I guess it would be Michael Jackson's new one that's just come out. I really really like it, and it's again like I said before, it's really cool that he can still make music even though he's not here, and still I can't believe he thought that these songs weren't good enough for release when it's like some of them have become like my favorite songs of his, and it's just like how could he not think they were good enough?
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, this is the chance of the show where you get to promote yourself. Go ahead.
Oh, hello everyone. I don't really want to talk about my like projects really because I'm sure people, if y'all want to know what I do, you'll come say hi. But mostly, that would be my main thing is just come and speak to me on the Rooster site or whatever Twitter. Just come and say hello. I'm friendly and I like speaking to people, so just come and say hello. And if you want to find out stuff, I'll tell you. But if not, you don't need to know. So hey everyone, come say hi.
Cool. Where can we find you on Twitter?
It's Gamers Scotland. So Gamers plural Scotland.
Cool. And on the Rooster Teeth site, you are AilsaRocks.
Indeed. Remember to spell it right. People always
Okay.
have crazy spellings of my name.
I know. It's
all
just,
good.
you just see it, it's just like, oh, they haven't spelled it right. That's just disappointing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. But I do have a weird name, to be fair. It's kind of unusual.
Right, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you, Ailsa, for being my guest this week.
Thank you for having me. I've had a lot of fun.
No problem. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.